Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you here tonight. Today, we're diving into a topic that might surprise you, maybe even make a few of you shift in your seats a little: a woman with no friends. Now, I know what you might be thinking. No friends? Some people will say, there's got to be something wrong with her. Let's be real. Society looks at a woman with no friends like she just landed from outer space. But maybe she's just wise enough to keep things simple, you know? As my grandmother used to say, it's better to walk alone than with a crowd going the wrong way. Solitude isn't about isolation, it's about tapping into an inner reservoir of strength that most people never get to explore. When you're alone, truly alone, without the distraction of others' opinions or expectations, that's when you start to hear your own voice, your real voice. It's a chance to confront yourself, face your own fears, and break free from the need to constantly seek approval. In solitude, you develop resilience. You learn to trust your instincts, make decisions with clarity, and lean on your own understanding. This isn't a weakness, it's a powerful discipline, the kind that shapes character. When you're not constantly surrounded by people, you have the space to sit with your own thoughts, your own dreams, and your own struggles. You learn to get comfortable with discomfort. And that's where true growth happens. Solitude forces you to go deeper. You start uncovering things about yourself, things that friends or family might never see or understand. And when you discover your own strength in those quiet moments, you become unshakable. The storms of life don't knock you down as easily because you're not relying on someone else to hold you up. You're standing on your own 2 feet, grounded, steady. We've all heard it: you're not truly happy unless you have a circle of friends around you. Society has painted this picture that the number of people around you defines your worth, your success, your happiness. But that's a misconception. Friendship, as we often define it, is not about the quantity of people you know or the number of social events you attend. It's about the quality of the connection. There's this idea that having a lot of friends means you're loved, that you're accepted, that you're living the right life. But let's be real for a moment. How many of those people truly know you? How many of them would stand by you when the chips are down, when everything gets tough? True friendship isn't just about hanging out or sharing a laugh. It's about being there in the dark moments, supporting each other without expectations. That's where the misconception lies. Just because you're surrounded by people doesn't mean they are your friends. We often confuse surface-level acquaintances with real, deep connections. Social media amplifies this misconception, showing us images of happy gatherings and group photos that make it seem like friendship is just about numbers and visibility. But what happens when the likes stop coming or the crowd disperses? That's when we see the difference between genuine friendship and a facade. A real friend isn't someone who shows up only for the good times. They're the ones who stay when the real work begins, when you're facing the hardest battles in life. True friendship doesn't rely on numbers or superficial gestures. It relies on mutual respect, trust, and a shared commitment to each other's growth. It's not about filling your life with people who only reflect your social status. It's about finding those who will challenge you, support you, and help you grow into the person you're meant to be. Self-reliance is the foundation of personal growth. It's the ability to stand on your own, to make decisions, and to chart your own course without waiting for others to validate your choices. When you learn to rely on yourself, you unlock a level of strength and independence that few people will ever fully experience. This is the kind of strength that doesn't come from others' praise or approval, but from the knowledge that you can face any challenge on your own terms. In a world that constantly pushes us to look outward for answers, self-reliance teaches us to look inward. It's about understanding that the power to change, to evolve, and to overcome is already within you. You don't need external validation to know your worth. When you depend on yourself, you cultivate the confidence to take risks, make bold decisions, and follow your instincts even when everyone else is uncertain or skeptical. Self-reliance is not about isolation, it's about empowerment. It's about realizing that you are your own greatest resource. When you can stand alone and thrive, you gain a deeper understanding of who you are, what you're capable of, and what truly matters. This kind of growth is unstoppable because it's rooted in the belief that your potential isn't tied to anyone else's expectations or limitations. It's limitless. As you begin to rely on yourself more, You begin to see growth in ways you never imagined. You stop waiting for someone else to change your situation, and you take responsibility for your own life. And with that responsibility comes the power to shape your destiny, to grow into the person you were always meant to be. Every challenge you face, every obstacle you overcome, adds another layer of growth, teaching you that you don't need anyone to hold your hand when you've learned how to stand strong on your own. In a world that often values the number of friends, followers, or connections you have, choosing quality over quantity can seem like a radical decision. But it's a decision that leads to deeper fulfillment, stronger relationships, and a more meaningful life. Too often, we're taught to collect people to have a large circle, to be seen, to be popular. But the truth is, not all friendships are equal, and not all relationships add value to your life. Quality is about depth. It's about having a few people who truly understand you, who see your potential and support you even when it's not convenient for them. It's about surrounding yourself with individuals who challenge you to be better, who hold you accountable, and who offer more than just empty conversations. These are the kinds of people who help you grow, not just get by. When you focus on quantity, you're often trying to fill a void, seeking validation from the sheer number of people in your life. But the more you collect, the less you connect. The more people you have, the more you dilute your energy and attention, and the less you can truly invest in meaningful relationships. The surface-level connections may give you the illusion of belonging, but they don't provide the emotional fulfillment that comes from real, authentic bonds. Choosing quality over quantity means being selective with your time and energy. It's about understanding that it's better to have a few solid relationships built on trust and mutual respect than to be surrounded by dozens of acquaintances who don't add any real value. These authentic friendships aren't based on social status or convenience. They are grounded in love, loyalty, and a shared commitment to each other's growth. When you choose quality, you stop wasting your time with people who don't bring positivity into your life. You stop filling your space with noise and start making room for people who help you elevate your life. That's when the real connections happen. And that's when you start living a life that's not just filled with people, but with meaningful, fulfilling relationships. In a world that pressures us to conform, authenticity is a rare and powerful trait. Too often, we sacrifice who we really are to gain acceptance, to fit in, to meet other people's expectations. We hide parts of ourselves, twist our values, and compromise our beliefs just to be liked or accepted by the crowd. But true fulfillment comes not from being accepted by others, but from being accepted by yourself. Authenticity is the courage to show up exactly as you are without pretense or fear of judgment. It's about embracing your quirks, your flaws, and your individuality. When you choose authenticity over acceptance, you stop living to please others and start living to please yourself. You stop seeking validation from external sources and realize that the only approval that truly matters is your own. The pressure to conform can be overwhelming, especially when everyone around you seems to be following the same script. But here's the truth: when you're authentic, you become magnetic. People are drawn to the real you, the person who isn't afraid to stand alone and speak their truth. You attract the kind of people who appreciate you for who you are, not for who you pretend to be. Choosing authenticity doesn't always make life easier. In fact, it can be a tough road to walk. But it's the road that leads to true freedom. It's the path where you can sleep at night knowing you've been true to yourself. It's the path where you stop carrying the weight of other people's opinions and start living with a sense of purpose and peace that only authenticity can bring. When you're authentic, you set yourself free. You no longer need to keep up with the world's standards or live according to someone else's rules. You've created your own path, one that's built on the solid foundation of who you really are. And in the end, that's the only kind of acceptance that truly matters, the acceptance of yourself. There's a quiet, unwavering power in the ability to walk alone. It's not the kind of strength that screams for attention or demands recognition. It's the kind of strength that's built in the moments when no one else is around, when the world tells you that you need others to succeed, to feel whole. It's the strength to trust your own steps, to move forward even when the path is unclear, and to rely on your own conviction when everyone else seems to be going in a different direction. Walking alone doesn't mean you're weak or incapable. Quite the opposite. It takes incredible courage to walk alone in a world that is constantly telling you that you need to be part of the crowd to matter. It's easy to blend in, to follow the herd, to walk where everyone else is walking. But it takes guts to take your own path, to trust yourself, and to believe that you can find your own way, even when the road seems empty and daunting. When you walk alone, you find out what you're made of. You discover your inner strength, your resilience, your ability to navigate life's challenges without relying on anyone else to carry you. You learn that your worth isn't tied to the people who surround you, but to the person you become through your own experiences and choices. Walking alone doesn't mean you're alone forever. It means you've learned the most important lesson of all, that the only person you need to depend on is yourself. And when you have that kind of strength, you no longer need to search for external validation or approval. You're not afraid to stand in your own power, to make decisions that reflect your true self, and to walk your journey with confidence, no matter where it leads. It's easy to follow the crowd. It's easy to be swayed by the opinions of others, to let the noise of the world dictate your direction. But those who have the strength to walk alone understand that it's in solitude that we find our greatest clarity, and it's in walking alone that we discover the most about who we are and who we're capable of becoming. Social freedom is the liberation from the expectations, judgments, and pressures that society places on us. It's the ability to live authentically without constantly trying to meet the standards set by others or conforming to societal norms. Social freedom is about breaking free from the idea that your worth is tied to what others think of you. It's about being able to think for yourself, act on your own terms, and define success on your own terms without the weight of social approval bearing down on you. Too often, we find ourselves caught in the web of comparison, looking at what others are doing, how they're living, what they're achieving, and feeling like we need to follow that same path to be accepted, respected, or valued. We let the rules of the world dictate our choices, our goals, and even our happiness. But when you embrace social freedom, you stop caring about fitting into someone else's idea of what you should be. You embrace the idea that your journey is yours to make, not to be measured by the achievements or lifestyles of others. This kind of freedom doesn't mean rejecting relationships or disconnecting from society altogether. It means creating a space where you're not defined by others' expectations. It means choosing who you associate with based on shared values, mutual respect, and real connection, not because it's what's expected or what's popular. Social freedom comes when you realize that the true power lies in being comfortable in your own skin and making decisions based on what's true for you, not what others want or expect. When you stop living to please others and start living to please yourself, that's when the real transformation happens. You stop being afraid of judgment, and instead you learn to embrace who you are, flaws and all. And when you do that, you invite other people into your life who are equally free, who value you for the authentic person you are, not the version of you they expect or want you to be. Social freedom is about taking control of your life. It's about saying, I'm no longer bound by the opinions of others. I'm no longer a slave to the pressure to conform. It's about living your truth unapologetically and finding peace in the fact that you don't need external validation to feel whole or worthy. You set yourself free. Community is often thought of as a group of people you're connected to, whether by family, location, or shared interests. But what if we've been defining community all wrong? What if the true essence of community isn't about the number of people in your circle, but the depth of connection you share? True community isn't about fitting into a prescribed mold or following a set structure. It's about building meaningful, supportive relationships that elevate you and push you toward your best self. In today's world, community is often reduced to superficial connections. We think of it as simply the group we hang out with or the people we call friends on social media. But those connections don't always provide real support or nourishment. Community isn't defined by proximity or the number of faces in the room. It's defined by how those people make you feel and how they contribute to your growth. It's about finding your tribe, the people who truly see you, value you, and challenge you to become the best version of yourself. Redefining community means shifting our focus from the surface level to the profound. It means understanding that community isn't just about belonging to a group, but about belonging to a purpose. It's about aligning with people who share your values, who encourage you to live authentically, and who will stand by you in both your successes and your struggles. These are the connections that create lasting impact, not the fleeting acquaintances that come and go. In today's connected world, technology has made it possible for us to connect with people from all walks of life, no matter where we are. But real community isn't about just being connected, it's about feeling supported, understood, and appreciated. It's about being surrounded by people who are there for you when the world feels heavy, who push you to rise higher, and who celebrate your victories as if they were their own. Redefining community also means creating space for new types of connections. It's about recognizing that family doesn't always have to be blood related, and that you can find deep bonds with people you meet in different stages of life. Community can be formed in places you least expect, with people who share your passions, values, or dreams. When you embrace this broader definition of community, you open yourself up to more genuine connections that are rooted in shared purpose and mutual respect. Ultimately, redefining community is about quality over quantity. It's not about the number of people you surround yourself with. It's about the richness of the relationships that matter. The real strength of community lies in the depth of the bonds you build, the trust you cultivate, and the support you offer each other as you walk through life together. It's these meaningful connections that create the kind of community that lifts you up and helps you become the person you were always meant to be. Embracing solitude, choosing quality over quantity, and living authentically are the foundations of true strength. It's about walking your own path with confidence and redefining the relationships you nurture in your life. Don't be afraid to stand alone, because in those quiet moments, you'll discover your deepest strength and the power to create meaningful connections. Your journey isn't defined by the number of people around you, but by your ability to remain true to yourself and find a community that aligns with your values. Strength lies in self-reliance, in choosing authenticity over acceptance, and in having the courage to be exactly who you are. So step into your power, embrace the challenges, and let your life unfold in its true purpose. If you found this message inspiring and empowering, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to stay updated on future content. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Comment below and let's start a conversation. Your feedback means the world. Let's grow together.